So welcome viewers, and this is not another edition, this is a special edition of Field of Dreams, and this is Axe Television Network, and my name is Steve David, and I'm your host. Today I have the greatest, as far as I'm concerned, footballer that ever came to our country. So I'm going to lay out the red carpet for him. Pele has Brazil has its Pele, Argentina has its Maradona, England has its Bobby Charlton, and Trinidad and Tobago has its Warren Archibald. Welcome to the set, buddy.
Pleasure to be here.
Tell the viewers what you've been up to lately.
Well,
Where you been?
I've been in Pennsylvania, and I've been doing a lot of work with kids in my time, teaching the kids around the area to progress in the game of football. They have junior varsity ball, and it's a great experience for the kids to be playing at different levels. So that's how I spend my spare time with the kids.
We're glad to have you, man. Welcome aboard. And I also have with me my co-host, Norado Wilson. Norado, welcome again.
It's a pleasure to be here, and now in such great company is even, more special today.
I know you always wanted to meet Archie, and you got the pleasure.
For me, this is really an honor being here today, because as rightfully as you said, I've had the pleasure. I live in Brazil, so I have the pleasure of knowing what they see Pele as from being the people themselves. And through meeting Steve, I've had the pleasure of meeting quite a great, all the legends from the 50s era straight up. And, something that is synonymous with all these guys is that they do always consider you, Mr. Archibald, as probably Trinidad and Tobago's best player. So for me, it's truly an honor, and it's a pleasure to be in the same company with you today.
Okay, viewers, sit back, get a drink, pull up a chair, and get ready to witness or to listen to the ever great Warren Archibald. I mean, it's an honor for me to conduct this interview with the best that we ever had in this country. Archie, I want to start with you in Point Fortin as a kid, and who is your biggest inspiration, and who is Boom Boom?
Well, Boom Boom is really my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
She was the mother of my father, Milton Archibald. She was the pillar of our household, and she was very, very protective of me, Warren. So she did a lot of things to make you laugh. She did a lot of things in the community. She was like a vendor. She used to sell tulum. They used to call, that's why they call tulum boom boom.
Oh, right.
Across the school. Well, the school is not far from my area. It's only a stone's throw. I could walk over to school. So they have a lot of things that she did to me as a kid that I remember to allow me to go to school. She did a lot of things like,
She supports you in every way possible.
Yes.
I remember when we go into a game or something, she would come out and say, "Bring back my grandson."
Yes, she would come to the car, and she said, "Make sure and bring my worry." They never called me Archie or Warren or whatever, but by my given name. So she would say, "Make sure and bring my worry back. You're not leaving here without bringing my worry back. Tell me you're going to bring him back." So that stayed with us. Every game we have to touch base, by different players' houses. We have to greet the parents. We have to get, that feeling of love before we depart to go to any tournaments that we play.
Okay, buddy, I want you to relax yourself and tell me, because would you say she's your biggest inspiration that you have?
Well, sort of. You know, I had
And
a
who
lot
else
of.
you can add to that
Well,
list?
I have different. Well, my mother was one.
Okay.
You understand? She's the one who used to make sure that I go to games as a kid, because I have a lot of fights with her, getting breakfast before I go to games, and it was like if she's not ready with my piece of bake, I would leave, and she would send someone behind me running to get my, you know, piece of bake to play,
Right.
to perform, you know. So a lot of people in the neighborhood contributed to where I was in the game of football.
Okay, let me tell you the first place I saw Archie was growing up in Point Fortin. I was a kid, of course, and he was a kid, of course. And I heard about, I'm 5, 6 years old. I heard about this guy from Egypt named Warren Archibald could play. So I wanted to go see who that guy is. I went down to Egypt field, and I seen a bunch of kids playing all covered in mud. And this one in a pool of mud from head to foot. And unbelievable player, man. That I at 6 years old, I looked at him and wow. And from then, I knew we had some connection because I never forgot him and that kind of stuff. Unbelievable.
Yes, because I remember when I played elementary football.
That's Egypt school.
That's Egypt school.
Right.
And there was a gentleman by the name of Amos Brown. I think that's Selby's father.
Yeah, Selby.
I knew nothing about traveling or going from the area, leaving the area to go to participate in football. So I was at they call it a canal, or, you know, a little
the drain.
drain. And I was there playing with my friend, making little boats and traveling down the line. So he touched me on my back. Warren, do you realize that you made elementary 11? I knew nothing what he was talking about, but I knew. He said, football, yeah. I said, thank you, Mr. Brown, but I don't know what you're talking about. He said, yes, you'll have to tell your mother, and you have to travel to participate. I said, good. And that's where it started.
In Egypt school, and you made it.
Egypt school.
That is the
The
elementary.
11,
Patrick,
yes. The whole St. Patrick,
Yeah,
11.
okay.
11.
That thing. So after doing that, and playing in Point, you also had another team that you played on, Shell Coast, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay,
And
tell us about that.
Shell Coast was a team that was formed from the players of the community who parents who parents worked at the Shell vicinity. And there were a lot of players, a lot of talent. And I was just from Egypt village, and they were from Mahaika. But I took a chance and went there, and they had greats like Leroy DeLeon, Wilfred Cave, Nolan Graham. I could call a lot of players. So I was a little timid fella, so I just went along and tried to participate. Never played in a boots. They told me I have to get a boots. So my father bought me a Jack Mary.
That's what they call it, a Jack Mary?
Jack Mary, an English football.
Above the ankle.
Above the ankle.
Yes.
$5. And that's where it started. $5 from Stones. That's the big store in the area. So after getting the boots, I went home, started to play. I couldn't, the top of the boots was so big.
The front,
The
right
front of the
tip,
boots,
yeah.
the front of the boots, it was like a working boots, like a steel working boots. And I had to try to do everything in that boots. Never knew about playing in a football boots before. And it didn't come easy because it had a lot of tears.
At that point, did you think you had what it takes to get where you got to? Or
Well, determination.
were you
yes.
dreaming yet?
Determination, I was dreaming already, yes.
All right, tell us
When
about your dreams.
Well, I tell you what, I knew with the talent and the way I used to play in Egypt Village, Coronation Park, I was not better than the players, but I was successful in the things that I was doing and thinking. And every game, every venue, I try to go see what the older folks were doing. And coming from my parents, hearing the stories of national players from before, I never knew, but he will take me with him to Coronation Park and see like the great Squeaky Hines. I never knew what he talking about. He'll show me, this is Squeaky, short man like me. You understand what I'm saying? And then the dream continued. So that's where it really started.
So you started to dream as a kid, from a kid, and like you said, the players you look up to is Squeaky Hines. What about players like Doyle Griffith?
Well, Doyle Griffith,
Delbert
Charlo, Worrell. They have a lot of players, but my influence in Point Forte football was really guys like Sona from Egypt Village and Jacko from he was really from down south, down from Point Forte. You know, these guys I used to look at. A lot of guys like Tulsi, Simal, you know, Sona, Jatan, and these guys used to have me by the ear and teaching me things. You understand what I'm saying? But I couldn't really participate in football on a daily basis because I had to run away from school and go play. So I used to turn my pants inside out so that my mother wouldn't see the dirt coming from playing. And I used to really go to these savannas, and because I wasn't far away from where I live, so I watching to see my parents if they're coming at me, so I'll know where to run. I'll know
what he's talking about is, viewers, he would be in his school clothes. So to play football, he would take off his pants, turn it inside out, play, and then turn it back inside out to go home. You see what I'm saying?
So
There's things you wanted to ask him. I want to try to take him to his childhood days, and then we can get into some serious discussion. So as a kid, you run around and play in the neighborhood. The only competitive games you played was with Shell Coast, right?
Shell Coast.
And the school, Egypt school.
Egypt school. You used to run for miles, like from Egypt to a place they call Chatham, which is about 15 miles.
Right.
I'm talking about no transport. We have to run there, get there, play a school game on even field, and run back 15 miles. You understand what I'm saying? So all that was a real process in preparation for things to come.
Okay, so we're going now from Egypt school to St. Benedict's College, right?
All right.
That's the next move.
That's the next step.
Okay, so we went to St. Benedict's College. At that point, you felt like how did you feel? You feel like?
Well, when I went to Benedict's, I never knew what the curriculum was, you know, a sport. But then we met coaches other than Doyle Griffith. We had a foundation already, a base. Yeah. We knew what the game was about. So after meeting August Wooter, he taught us really what football was about. Different tactics of the game, you know, moves. He will show us things that he could do personally. And you see, when you have talent, it comes with different things. You understand? It comes with skills. So the time that he shows us from school, and if you watch the shift of the weather or the daylight, we don't have much time to practice. So by the time we reach from La Romaine to Point Forte, we have to go to the savannah, and we have to really try to do the things that would have taught us. So that's where the skill format came in. You have to move rapidly.
So you're getting home at 4 or 5 in the evening, and you have until about 6:30.
Well, not even 6:30, 6.
Before the sun goes down.
6:30 is dark, yes.
Yeah.
So we have a short amount of time to practice the things that our coach taught us.
You think August Wooter and Doyle Griffith, they gave you the same amount of knowledge, football
Yes,
knowledge,
yes.
or,
Well,
or
Doyle-
one more than the next?
Doyle was a bit different because he was really like the foundation, you understand, for the kids in the area. He took his time to form this team. We will play before the big teams like Shell play, before they have a game, we will play to show. It's like a little intermediate team to get the spectators.
Like an exhibition.
Yes, like an exhibition. We on exhibition then for the up and coming. You know, they didn't have no systems like farm systems and whatever.
Right.
That
Right.
was the start of the farm system. So we had to showcase the talent that we have.
So as a kid in the neighborhood, you play little evening pickup games or between each other.
Okay.
But really, if you couldn't be on the Shell Coles team, you don't have any other competitive place to play.
Yes, you do have.
Okay. What
Because,
about those?
because they have teams in the area where we play, Cobo Park, Hollywood,
Minor league.
minor league,
Right.
minor league. So that's where you develop skills.
But you're 12 years old.
We was
I
playing.
mean,
We was playing.
you're young
Yes,
at
we
that
was
time.
playing minor
yeah.
league, Cobo Park, you know, and we were playing against older folks. So you have to be a degree of skill
Yeah.
because you're going to get injured. So that's where my skill form came in, my format for skipping, moving, speed, because I was only, 75 pounds, 80 pounds. I turned pro at 126 pounds. So you had to catch me. And I had to be very elusive.
So he was fast from a child, Dorado. He was quick from a child.
Yeah,
So in Benedicts, you meet up the great Jan Stedman.
John Stedman, Leroy De
Well, you
Leon.
always know Leroy De
Leroy,
Leon,
yes,
Adrian Chandler,
yes, Adrian Chandler,
Remy, Cupid,
yes,
all these
goalkeeper,
guys.
yes.
And then you had a coach called August Wooter.
August Hooter is who took us to the next level.
Tell us about your life at St. Benedict's College, man.
Well, it wasn't. It was pleasurable. I enjoyed it because it was school and then fun. You understand? But the fun part was making friends from different from guys in the different areas, like San Fernando. You know, I getting to know people other than Point Forte. Playing with players now, it became like a professional team. You understand what I'm saying? You're meeting players and learning what they could do, you know, and you're making friends along the way. So that was Benedict's.
So who was it? I'll tell you what, think about this question, and when we come back from a break, you're going to pick it up. Who was, or what team or what player was your biggest rival? And when we come back from break, you'll let me know the answer to that. Viewers, we'll be right back after the short break.
Worldwide Safety Consultants Limited offers solutions to your immediate and future potential problem areas by providing you with a qualified team of safety consultants. Worldwide Safety Consultants Limited, building a reputation on quality and value since 1999. Located 23 Todd Street, San Fernando, Trinidad. Phone 868-657-1534 or 868-788-6955. worldwidesafety@yahoo.com.
Okay, viewers, welcome back. You're watching Field of Dreams, Axe Television Network. I am with the great and the greatest that we had in this land, Warren Archibald. So, Warren, before the break, I was asking you the question, who you think was your biggest opponent, let's say, or what team in colleges, we're talking colleges football now, was your biggest rival?
Well, we had teams like Fatima, QRC. Well, I won't even mention presentation, you know, because they would lose by at least 26-0.
Right.
Because Wouter was a coach where he taught us no mercy. You understand? Winning is goals. That's our only interest, is scoring goals. And the main rival was Fatima
College.
Fatima College, because they had skilled players, intelligent players, and we had to match skills. So that's how to me, that's how the college leagues improve.
So you think St. Benedict's, with yourself and the guys from Point, had a lot to do with the improvement of the college football league? I think so.
Definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Definitely. Because it raised the level. It raised the level of football. Because when you have skilled players matching skill with skilled players, your level of football rises.
I'm glad you said that, because I remember playing in Point, it looked like everybody was a baller to me.
Everybody was.
Everybody. So you had to be a baller to be able to get selected to even play
Participate, yes.
pick up football.
Yes, definitely.
Otherwise, you got to go on the sideline and
You gotta be a spectator.
And it continue on into the other football.
It continue onto college. It continue on to professionalism and everything like that, you know. So one level lead to another level.
What made Point so good at the time? Or what the players on Point?
Well, I'll tell you what made Point so good at it. Point youths love to imitate. You understand what I'm saying? Imitation was what made Point great, because we used to imitate the older folks.
Mm-hmm.
The older folks like Delbert Charlo,
Doyle Griffith.
We wanted in the area to be just like these people. And Point was a mecca of football. We never had no problems with alcohol with the kids. We never saw the bad behavior from the older players. So we were trying to be just like the older players in that format.
I think also what probably helps, you know, it's sometimes if you look at some of the successful football teams, it's because they had a model or system that probably wasn't readily available to the other teams. For example, you look at Brazil's success in World Cups years ago was because a lot of the players were playing at home and they grew up from watching older players, so there was a type of football Brazilians played. So when they went out on the World Cup stage, teams like England, Germany, they weren't familiar with their type of football, so they ran all over them. I think what you're telling me is Point Fortin basically was like that in Trinidad. A lot of the other teams had the ability to be playing all over and seeing the other players, but Point Fortin basically harvested, you know, players from a young age, learning from the older players, and, you know, it was a Point Fortin type of football. So what happened is that when they came out, nobody was prepared for what Point had to offer.
And,
you know, at the skill level.
He said it right, didn't he?
At the skill level, yes.
It's very
It's
true.
true. It's true.
And so we did what we had to do. I mean, but we had good older folks to follow.
Good older folks to follow.
And they helped us
by
a lot.
example, yes.
Yeah. So what happened? Why aren't we not like we used to be?
Well, I'll tell you what, discipline. Most of the younger folks don't have any discipline. You understand what commitment. They feel it's just a game. But how could you go from one level to the next if you're thinking negative all the time? You understand what I'm saying? You have to be dedicated. You have to want something. You have to see your folks in your area. You understand what I'm saying? You have to want to play this game. Football is a game that you want to play at a high level. That's why you see in Trinidad, the teams are not really progressing. You understand? They're watching the game from abroad. They're watching international football. They're not doing the things that they see. Because like we never had television, but we knew Pele, We knew different players from the world. Johan Cruyff, we know players from around the world. Did we see them? No. We did not have any television. So reading a newspaper, you hear about Pele, you have different things from different players, and you try to imitate. Remember when we were going to Benedict's? What was our tracksuit?
That green and yellow.
My mother made mine.
Melton.
Thank you very much. The Melton, we saw our own tracksuits.
Yes, we did. We did.
So it was like a follow fashion. You
Yes.
want to be like, which is good.
It's good.
It's good.
Yes.
It's good because to us it was good. Everyone, we wanted to be, we had the same colors like Brazil. We
Yes,
watched, and
really,
we watched different players around the world. It's not a shame to be like Pele, but in yourself, it's not a shame to acquire different skills from different players. You understand? And make your own decision on how to play the game of football. But these kids, they know oh, I don't want to be like him. Who is he? I want to play like me. But are you playing good? Do you have the skills? Have you seen the things that he did and trying to improve what he did? No, they don't do that no more.
And we're going to get into some of that later on, but because you're right. What we played from inside out.
There you go.
And I think that's what is probably some of the difference.
You know?
And we copycats, and that's how kids learn.
We were
anyway.
copycats. We were copycats.
Yeah, and
That's how you
so-
improve your game.
Right.
Wouldn't you want to be playing like Pele, but in
Exactly.
your own format?
And you
in your
build
own
way.
self?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
And I want the viewers to learn about the motivation that you had within, because I have learned so much from you just by talking to me, and also by watching you play, and also by mannerisms on the field. And I've copied so much, but we're going to get into that as we go forward. So St. Benedict's days, you had an awesome group of guys that you guys sweep through Trinidad football. What is it? Football league at that time, and colleges football league at that time, and then you got into the national team from the college.
Well, I'm going to tell you a story about that national team.
Okay.
I made the national team as a schoolboy, and my first game, I think it was against Santos of Brazil or something like that. Mm-hmm. So in the dressing room, I was from, you call it the country, I was from Point Forte, which is the tongue. I'm from tongue. You understand what I'm saying? This is my tongue. So Conrad Braffett, which was the coach, he distributed the socks and, strips.
Yeah.
He distributed the strips. This is Archibald, this is this. Me, as a rookie, I went to my gears, I put on my T-shirt, I put on my pants, and no socks. Someone stole my socks, and no one gave me back my socks. You understand? I started to cry as a schoolboy. So I hung my head, and I went out there, no socks. Someone came after and give me a socks. I went out. I didn't care.
You don't play without it?
I would, I would have
ready to do
played-
that?
I was ready to play without socks,
Mhm.
because it's not the gears that play the game.
It's the
The
man.
gears was just to look good.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? And that was my first experience with my national team.
Who were some of the players in that team?
Oh, they had guys like Lincoln Phillips,
Tyrone de Labastide?
Gamaldo,
Yeah.
Tyrone de Labastide, what's his name?
What about college players like Ben
They had
Other
in
college
fact Everett Galley was on the
Everett
team.
Galley Commons?
Galley was on the team. I think they had other players from
Yeah.
but I was thinking so much that I was really, you see, I usually get in a frame of mind when game time. And I was in a zone. I was
Mhm.
just thinking what I have to do. You understand what I'm saying? To perform at a high level, because you're talking about Trinidad and Port of Spain. So I usually put myself in a zone before I play this game. So I don't even remember who the changes was or what, but I know I was just depending on going on.
I'm glad you said that, because I always tell them, once we get onto the field, we go into that zone
Yes,
that I can explain. It's like an actor
There you
going to perform
there you go.
and acting, it's just that unexplanatory.
Because it
kind of.
started from there and it went on to different, like CONCACAF and different things. You cannot talk to me when I'm in my zone.
Right.
You my friend, yes, you my teammates, but you cannot speak to me. You
Right.
can't say nothing. My whole criteria is winning. I have to score goals. I got to score goals by any means possible. You understand me? I'm useless if I don't score a goal. My team, and I don't care, you could bring Brazil. I have to score. I will find a way to score. Any second. Don't give me the last second of the game, I'm going to score.
You know, that's what I'm talking about. The mental that we had
Mental
back
frame.
then was so different to the mental they have now. I think. I don't know.
No,
You
no,
tell
you're
me.
correct.
You think?
I believe so. I think because there's it's a book, I don't know if many people have read it, but it's about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And it was saying that some of the lessons that you learn in life, it was about teaching, somebody about acquiring wealth and wealth management. But it was saying that when you deny the financial gain, some people go into thinking, I have to leave this because if there's no profit, it doesn't make sense. And then others, if you want to stick through it, you learn to adapt and you start to think outside the box. And I think today, because they're so heavily compensated financially, a lot of the guys use that as their motivation. Trinidad could be ranked 189th in the world, but once his salary is guaranteed, that's okay. I think because you guys went through a period where there wasn't necessarily much
Money.
financial gain
Yes,
in
money.
the earlies, that was never the motivation.
Yeah.
You actually wanted
Pride.
to prove
Pride.
that I am from Point or I am from a small island and I
Yeah.
still could compete at
Yes.
any level.
Any
And
level.
I think it shows today, all across the world at any level, guys are coming out younger, getting high salaries, not having an illustrious career, ending shortly, going into some drugs or something like that.
Whatever
All
like
because
that.
the motivation is not to please the community, to please the elders, to just please football or yourself.
Right. Right.
So I agree.
So now Houston Banks College, and boom.
Well, even
Don't-
today, as you speak
you
about,
wanna
yes, even today,
comment?
as you
Go
speak
ahead.
about what one transpires, I have never smoked nor drink in my life. Never smoked nor drink in my life. And it's not because of, people around me smoke and drink,
Yeah.
but it wasn't beneficial to my health. It wasn't beneficial to my game because I was 150% committed to what I do. I
Right.
wanted to do it to the best ability and to make my parents, Point Forte, or Trinidad and Tobago proud.
So now you represent St. Mary's College, and you represent the national team, and now you got professional contract offered. Who was that team?
Well, you see, when you have talent and you play different places, you represent your country, it's a pride. You have to play to the best of your ability. And we were playing in Jamaica. No one knew me, but I knew what I could accomplish.
Well,
You understand? Pele is human like me. I watch everything he does. I watch everything, and I think I could do some things better. And in Jamaica, I was a young guy, and I was coming up against the best. And Trinidad depending on me. And where guys here, I hear in Trinidad, is saying, oh, hard luck, he missed, not in my time. It wasn't hard luck.
You don't agree with that?
I don't
hard luck
agree
thing?
with hard luck. You understand what I'm saying? You perfect what you do. You understand what I'm saying? You're the master of what you do. You have to show people that I could do this at a consistent basis.
Right.
Not just one game. Not just 2 games. Every game. You have to put 90% every game. When you put on that TNT, is tears. Blood, sweat, and tears. Some kids don't realize that. It's an honor. You know how many people in Trinidad and Tobago? And you are one of 11 or one of 17 to represent your nation. It's a pride, it's honor. And I would have done anything. In fact, my teammates would have done anything. I could call different teammates. They would have done anything to win, to make Trinidad and Tobago very proud.
Okay, so you get called for, you got a contract with that is New York team.
There, okay, right? We got. Well, I never knew about professional football, you know.
Exactly. So tell us that experience.
So after that experience, they came to me. Warren, someone wants to see you. Why you want to see me? We won the game. Jamaica was to beat us. We playing in Jamaica. You understand? I've never played home, you know. Never played in my country. Okay, they want to see me. What do you want to see me for? They want you to turn pro. I say, all right. Where they want me to go? After the game, they tell me they want me to go to the North American Soccer League. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what they're talking about, but I'm moving on. Yeah. I'm stepping. So it was nice to hear that. And then after they recruited other guys, you know, on the team, and that's where it started.
Could I ask what age, around what time?
Well, that was almost 20.
Okay.
Going to different, you know, playing for Trinidad, and going representing Trinidad, different venue, different places. Well, I tell you, we had a lot of work, you know. As school kids, we had a lot of work because we went to Guatemala, El Salvador, San Salvador. You understand what I'm saying? Where we went to Haiti. We were moving. But you see, we had a principal named Basil Matthews who had not just Benedict's College at heart, but Trinidad also. So he recruited kids from the southern area. You could call it poverty. You understand what I'm saying? But he recruited kids from the southern area, talented kids. Well, word of mouth. Yeah. He didn't know Point Forte, word of mouth. And he recruited players from different, you know, venues. San Fernando, Caledonia. So that's how we came together. I know the Haynes, I know the, you know, Stevie, little Stevie was small and he was learning also, you know. That's how we had farm teams. We also had farm teams, what you call farm teams. We had junior Benedicts and, you know, your progress, you know, and he recruited us and thing. And he said, Warren, I'm doing this. This is not for Benedicts. I'm doing this for Trinidad and Tobago. No one knew what this man was trying to do for Trinidad and Tobago. So what he did is our team, which was Benedicts, St. Benedict's, he recruited players from Port of Spain, good players, to form that nucleus for us to come to, you know, and that's how we went to Suriname and different places. He had vision.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, I want you to tell us about your New York General experience.
All right.
We'll be right back after the short break.
Worldwide Safety Consultants Limited offers solutions to your immediate and future potential problem areas by providing you with a qualified team of safety consultants. Worldwide Safety Consultants Limited, building a reputation on quality and value since 1999. Located 23 Todd Street, San Fernando, Trinidad. Phone 868-657-1534 or 868-788-6955. worldwidesafety@yahoo.com.
Okay, Okay, welcome back, viewers. We still tuned in. You are still tuned in to Field of Dreams, and we're watching. We're talking with the ever great Warren Archibald and Archie, as I always call you, buddy. Tell me a little bit about your New York General experience. Was it? I mean, you now you're from Point Fortin. We used to have to dress up to go to San Fernando or Port of Spain. Now you go to the big city of New York, the biggest city in the world. What's that experience was like?
Well, the buildings, the skyscrapers, you don't look eye level, you look up, you know? And I remember we lived at Hotel New Yorker, John Stedman, Leroy Dillian, and Warren Archibald, 25th floor. We were on our own, you know, handing a little cash. We had to maintain our, you know, lifestyle. No smoking, no drinking. We were professional ball players. So we used to get up every morning. We're brothers. Leroy Dillion and I lived like brothers for years. We had to get up on a daily basis, go downstairs, catch the train, go to Long Island, train, come back. Well, I used to say our parents was from 42nd Street. So when we get off the train on 42nd Street, we get a big chicken, a gallon of orange juice, probably a steak, and we took it home. It's not like, you see, we were professional ball players. We didn't have a nightlife because it was very, very competitive. Very competitive. It's not like if I make a mistake or if I falter any time in practice or game time, there's another one to take my place. Even with injuries, I have to recuperate so fast that I have to come back. I have to come back on that team because there's another man down my back. And I would tell players, you never come off a football field and give another man a break, because that might be the only time you will see game time again. Because this guy will gonna go, he probably might come off and perform better than you, and you will be only looking at the bench.
I remember when I turned pro and I came to Miami, you told me exactly that. I said to you when I got my first paycheck, do I get this every week? You say, yep. I says, whether I play or not? You say, yep. I say, well,
good for me.
He says, make sure you stay on that field because you see all those guys on that bench.
There you go. They want
you
to get injured.
And at the end of the season, they're replacing that bench with new players.
There you go.
So make sure you stay on the field.
You got to perform. You got to perform. Football is your performance. You understand? It's no hard luck. No hard luck. Oh, hard luck, he could have scored. No, not in my time. It's either goals or nothing. Because my team is dependent on me. Even when we were school kids, my team is dependent on my performance, my skill level to create and to score goals. Any means possible.
And I'm glad you said that because, you know, you put the onus on you. And if every kid do that, my team depends on me.
As a striker.
Then, you know, and then they put what is necessary to make it happen. Because you had such motivation that I draw so much strength from you. And we're going to talk about that because I draw so much strength from you when you talk, because I picked up so much. And you were never scared of nobody. You felt nobody was better than you.
Nobody.
And I guess that's how
total respect for every player. But I mean, Pele is a man just like me. I'm from Trinidad, he's from Brazil. What's the difference? It's a one wrong ball. And that's the main factor. You understand what I'm saying? You hit it right, it will do things for you.
Right.
Yeah. That's simple.
So is your New York General experience the best professional experience you had, or you went on to have better experiences then?
Well, I'll tell you what.
It was different, right?
It was different in the sense that you're learning different things from different countries. Like when I took you to Mexico, you understand, high altitude, different game, movement of the ball, you're learning different things all along the way. Like Guatemala, we saw different things. We're learning. San Salvador, remember they had guys, oh my goodness, we're learning things from there. And then that's what made Trinidad at that era, that time, a better nation playing football. Because guys were like sponges. Everett Cummins, John Stedman, Leroy DeLeon. You understand? Guys were Kenny Joe. We were like sponges. We're learning, we're watching. How did he do that? But guys now not asking that question, how did he do that? I could do that. No, I can't do that. I have to practice what he did. I have to go to the field, the savannah, or what you call it, to practice what he did. And practice make perfect.
Do you feel like you were, that I know, and I'm just saying so that my viewers to know, like you were the most scared by the defenders forward that existed? Because when you go by, the words they used to call you, you little black bastard and everything
Yeah, everything in the book.
Do you feel
everything
like,
in the book. Everything in the book, because it have times that guys spit at me, you don't understand what I'm saying, but I wasn't one to fight. I will go up, and let you know, I will embarrass you by scoring goals. That's it. Even with, remember, Mexico City. Oh man, we were in Haiti. Mexico City, they were kicking the ball on the wall, bang, 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 making a ruckus. And I told certain guys, I could do that. You could do that. You understand? My national team, they were timid. But the professional that came along helped the younger guys. And the 3 guys that came around were not timid. We were seasoned professionals. Silvestre Figaro, Warren Archibald, and who was the other one? But anyhow, who was the other one?
In what team?
No, that the team when we went to Haiti.
Oh,
Do you
the
understand?
professionals?
Yes, the
Oh,
professional. Galley,
Yes.
Everett.
Yes.
And that made the difference because we were teaching the younger kids. You understand what I'm saying? By not being afraid, you're human, you got the skill level, so go apply it to the game. And they learn from us. And how the process came about is me creating goals, scoring goals, and Figgy and Galley holding the fort in the back. That's it. But when you have hard luck, oh, what he gonna do? Better luck next. I don't need to hear that. That is too negative. I don't think negative playing football. Never one time. That mental thought of negative has never crossed my mind. Never. I could win a game in the final second. Steve will tell you. In the final second, I could make you cry. That's it. 89 minutes. That's
So
it.
where did all that come from? I mean, I learned it through you.
All right.
And listened to you. Where did it come from?
Well, that come from the elementary school level. What we had to do, you understand, to accomplish certain things. And when you have players around you that urging you on, you could do this, you could do that, as a cohesive unit, as one unit, because football is not individualism, it's everybody.
Teamwork.
So, teamwork. You understand? You don't have to like me, but you have to perform for me. And you're not performing for me, you're performing for your team. You see, there's no I in team, you know. Some guys feel it's I in team. I'm a better football player today than I was playing for Trinidad because experience, I know when to hold, when to distribute. You understand? And I think I would have gotten what I know now, I would have gotten more goals. And Everett would tell you that testimony.
If we can get back the youth with the knowledge you have, is what you're saying, you will do wonders.
Wonders.
And especially with the money they pay now,
Wonders.
even better, right?
Wonders, because I usually smile and say, could you imagine what Galley, Dilly, Little Stevie would be commanding today.
Right.
Big bucks. Big bucks. But at that time, we just wanted to perform. We just wanted performance. And then I played in Washington, D.C. with Lincoln and they. And when I scored against Brazil, me and Jerry Brown and I, they came to me and want me to go to Santos. And I don't know what figure who was in charge of Washington Darts gave them. They said, no, they can't pay that for Archie. And that was it. But I continued. You understand? It wasn't a standing block. It wasn't nothing mental for me. You know, like people dwell on things.
Yeah.
That's your strikers. They dwell on, oh, I didn't score. This one talking, then this one, oh, you're not good. You're not. You have to filter out all these things. What you did wrong, what you did right. Go work on it, on your craft. Go work on your craft.
If you were to look back, hindsight now that you've been through it, what would you say that you could have done better? Or what would you say that could have made you a better player?
Well, what I would have done better is, I could say listen more, because I was usually trying my own thing. But it have a lot of older folks were telling me things at a younger age. You understand that I never tried, and if I had tried the things that they were telling me, probably I would have been more creative.
So yeah, you like some people might have given you advice that you didn't take.
Definitely, yes.
Because you think
you know it all.
You know it all, like every teenager, right? We know it all.
You know.
And I agree with that. I agree with that. What about on the field of play? Is there anything that you could have developed, like any skill? Like for me, there was one time I looked at, especially Ken Morin, I looked at him head the ball, and I said, wow. So I went to Ken, I said, Ken, you got to teach me to head, buddy. So I know, and eventually I get half decent with the head, but not like Ken Morin. So is there any one thing that you felt that you can learn from somebody else? Or somebody that done something that you could have used?
Well, like, what I used to do is watch mostly, well, you know, we didn't have televisions, but when you go to games, it have certain things that players do, and I usually incorporate my own style and create my own dribbles and my own stop and go to fool you. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I was a copycat. You understand? In a skill sense. Because I will watch, we didn't watch much international football, but the guys in the area used to do things that, even right now, I don't watch your men play. I watch your women play because they're more creative. You see things that they do that the men never dream of doing. Never dream of doing.
I'm glad you said that stop and go. I want to get into some of the things that you did on the field, man, that was so effective but different, that people don't do now. Or maybe they do something different, but I want us to talk about some of that things, like you said, the stop and go. Explain that to the viewers. What is
the stop and go is this. And if I do it anytime I'm alive, any age, you're going to fall for it. It's a trick. And how I did it, I cannot do it on my left side. I could do it only on my right side, because I don't care if it's 4 defenders. With speed, taking on the ball, and I have you at a pace. Now remember, I'm coming at you. You have to defend me because you're on the back foot going backwards. You have it harder than me. So how couldn't I score a goal? Tell me. Why shouldn't I score? You have to turn. And with my rate of speed, you have to be turning real quick. So when I put my foot on this ball and I catch you in a stance, you're gonna, but it's not stop. The left foot is pulling it also. So you're seeing the stop, but this one carrying the ball. So when you, that's all I need. A reflex action that, 1 second, I'm gone.
Somebody's running you down. You put your right foot on it, the forward foot, and then your left foot coming
My
behind,
right,
drag
there,
it and go
there,
with it.
There you
and
go.
Then the
It's
defender
just, you're
stops.
seeing the
Right.
stop, but it's not stop. This one is taking it with me.
I know, that was very
I'm
effective.
talking
man.
about three defenders. It don't matter.
That was very effective.
No, you see, that's the problem in football today. They're not creative. They're not, they're watching Messi. Could you be like Messi? No. I watch Pele, but could I be like Pele? No. I want to be like Warren in Pele. You understand? I want to do things that I am creating. I want to do things that make me elusive. That's the word. Going forward.
Right.
It's tricks.
We got a lot more to cover. So we are at the end of the show, this show. So I want us to continue this into a second week. So viewers, I'm going to stop at this point, but next week, well, we're going to stay and we're going to continue, and you're going to see us next week with the continuation of the great, the best footballer that came through this country, Warren Archibald. Again, viewers, thank you for tuning in. Axe Television Network, thank you for giving us the opportunity. We do have a Facebook page. Check us out. We do have an email address. Drop us a line. fieldofdreamstt@gmail.com. Tune in next Monday night, 8 p.m., and you will see the continuation of the greatest, Warren Archibald. The show's ended. See you next week. Good night.